The new trailer for the third Deadpool movie is now out, Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, the Deadpool movies were an interesting novelty, given how self-aware that the character could be. He could break the fourth wall and speak directly to the audience. He can make jokes that obviously wouldn't be possible in other superhero movies and franchises. And ultimately, that was the unique selling point of those films, along with being unapologetically R-rated. Ryan Reynolds does an incredible job. Ultimately, he makes it work with his charisma and charm, and the character Wade/Deadpool has a clear likability. And generally speaking, the formula works well, especially I think in the first film. The threat from the villain and the serious moments were balanced fairly well against the comedy. The second film probably had bigger laughs, but I felt the gimmick was beginning to run dry a little bit. The more you watch these films, the more you see the formula. It becomes a bit predictable. Gory violence interspersed with fourth wall breaking, witty one-liners and adult humor, rinse and repeat. It's not bad, it clearly works. That's the reason these movies are generally very well liked and fairly successful at the box office, I might say, as well. But you can't really take these films seriously in the same way you can with the likes of the Avengers movies or the stronger of the MCU movies. And you're not really supposed to, of course. So where does that leave the MCU now that Deadpool is entering it? And this is his third Deadpool film. It is supposed to be a major tentpole movie in the franchise, possibly the savior of the flagging MCU. So I've watched the trailer, as I'm sure many of you have by now. And yes, Ryan Reynolds is once again on form. Of course, jokes about Disney notwithstanding, it's not like they're going to be able to go as hard on Disney as South Park did, for obvious reasons. But this looks like it's another movie based around the Time Variance Authority, the TVA, from the Loki TV series. So when I was watching this, it just felt a little bit Loki, but with Deadpool instead. And actually, Deadpool meeting Loki, that would genuinely have been an interesting idea. At least the old Loki before he was neutered so heavily in the TV series. Now, obviously, the big selling point in this film is going to be the return of the character of Logan/Wolverine, played by, once again, Hugh Jackman, of course. Who else? I have no doubt he's going to be a highlight. But the problem is, it has all been done. So Wolverine was given a great send-off in Logan in 2017. It was a great movie. Hugh Jackman has already played this character, I think, in, 9 films at this point? And I'm including his brief appearances in X-Men Apocalypse and First Class. Bringing him back is obviously about, generating major fan interest, and I'm sure it will. These two characters in the same film, it's been something that Ryan Reynolds has wanted to do for a very long time, and a lot of fans have been eager to see. Now, I'm assuming that this version of Logan is either from an earlier point in his timeline, in the timeline of the X-Men films that we know, or he's from an entirely different universe. But the issue for the MCU is that it still doesn't have what it once had, which is not only a consistent primary story arc, but a core set of strong characters that can carry the franchise for several years. The principal Avengers cast did this successfully until they were disbanded in Endgame, though some of them have continued, but not as a united group. With Tony Stark and Captain America gone, it hasn't and never was going to be the same. And I certainly don't think that Deadpool is the man to carry the series, because his whole act, his whole thing is built on the gimmick of being the fourth wall breaking joker in the pack rather than a serious leading man. Deadpool works well as an occasional fun departure from the norm, but not as a core of a franchise. He kind of works best for me as an outsider in the orbit of the more well-known superheroes. But to be front and center only serves to show that no other strong, outstanding character has emerged as lead material in the MCU since the departure of Tony Stark and Captain America. Certainly we know Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is unlikely to return again after this one. This is expected to be his final farewell. So it's not like his version of this character will be leading the franchise, though a new Wolverine played by a different actor is expected to be coming soon. And we might see different variants of the character in this movie. We're expected to see other variants of Deadpool, for example. Now, because this film is built around the multiverse plot device, this is likely going to continue the trend of loads of cameos and maybe a bit of nostalgia bait that many superhero movies have done recently. To that end, I'm expecting to see the return of Patrick Stewart as the character of Professor Charles Xavier. He's been mentioned in the previous two films, but never actually appeared in either of them. Of course, Stewart did return as a variant of Xavier in the movie Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And again, just like with Wolverine, we don't know which version in the timeline or which universe version of Xavier this is going to be. Is it going to be the one that we remember from the original X-Men movies? The one that was killed in Logan, perhaps based before those events? Or is it going to be an entirely different universe version of the character? Now, what appears to be about to emerge from this film is the transformation of the MCU that we've heard about, possibly the creation of this ultimate Marvel Cinematic Universe that encompasses past Marvel film series into one. That includes the world of, Fantastic Four, the world of Blade, and of course, the X-Men universe, who obviously offer a huge amount of strong characters to base a universe off of. So I suspect we're going to get a lot of multiverse mashup stuff for a while, which again, I think at this point a lot of fans are already quite tired of. I think that Disney, Marvel, and indeed DC thought that the whole multiverse thing was going to be far more popular and engaging with fans than it actually turned out to be. With the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home, I can't really think of any time that it's been done in a really compelling or interesting or fun way. But we've spoken about the issues regarding the multiverse thing for some time now, so I won't go over that ground again. That's going to do it for now, guys. What do you think of this Deadpool and Wolverine movie? The new trailer is out, so if you haven't seen it, please check it out. Do you think this is the way to rejuvenate the MCU? Are you interested in this movie on its own? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. The Dave Cullen Show is made possible by you, my generous subscribers. If you'd like to support my work, head on over to my Subscribe star, linked below in the description box, and for a pledge of as little as $1 per month, you can help to keep the show going. I'm also doing one-to-one monthly subscriber chats. Thanks again. Take care.